Well, Kaji. I know the pitch assisted pace bonus throughout, but just in terms of your consistency, your control, and just basically putting the ball where you wanted it to go and do what it wanted to do, what you wanted it to do across both innings. You must be really pleased with the way you performed.
Yeah, I can't not be pleased. I thought I bowled nicely this game. I thought as an attack we bowled extremely well too. I mean, after the first day and halfway through, or 3/4 through day one, I thought, this wicket's actually playing pretty well. And then it started becoming uneven, and that played a factor. I guess it played more of a factor for them than for us. Yeah, you still have to put the ball in the right area, no matter how much assistance you have in the wicket. And I think we utilized game plans really well. We tried to be really harsh on ourselves, but also giving ourselves credit if we did execute what we wanted to. And I think in the end, all in all, we bowled very well, and we can be pleased with that.
KG, there's quite a lot sort of going on in world cricket, with England, New Zealand, Australia, India, and many other things. And this series, I guess, is not so high profile, but you guys seem to still bowl with a lot of intensity. Can you just explain kind of how you were motivated to put in a performance like that, given that maybe it's not the highest profile thing?
It's a test match. You're playing a test match against, no matter who you play a test match against, it's always going to be hard. West Indies, they're a capable team. They've got good bowlers, got good batters. They come from a rich history of cricket. Whether this is high profile or low profile, I honestly couldn't care about that. It's a test match. And every time you rock up to a test match, you got to play your best. Doesn't matter what the world is saying. They can say whatever they want.
Sorry, and then just on the Jason and yesterday we had Andre talking about lack of test cricket, and obviously you guys have this and then a big break. Is that also something that kind of serves to I want to perform really well because I'm not going to play this format for a while?
I guess that is one disappointing aspect, the fact that we're not playing as much test cricket as we'd like to. I see test cricket as the pinnacle of the game, and a lot of the players in the change room would see, if not all, would see that as well. I think it is a disappointing aspect, especially if you look at our team and the potential that we possess. The only way that we can get better is by playing as much test cricket as possible. I'd like to see a change in the future. I mean, the next test match we play is Boxing Day here at home. And you look at all the other nations, they're playing a lot more test cricket. So I think it needs to be prioritized a bit more. I'm not in charge of that, but at least I can ask for it to be.
KG, congratulations on the 6-wicket haul. What is it about Test cricket that makes hunting down those wickets so special? And do you feel like you're being robbed of your prime because of the Future First program and the lack of Test cricket?
Robbed, I don't know about robbed. There's still a lot of cricket to be played. There's still a lot to look forward to. I don't know if robbed is the right word. I just think perhaps disappointed is the right word. Looking at the F2P and how little Test cricket we're playing. If you look at our batters, and also our young bowlers, you'd like them to mature in this format. It's just really unfortunate, but yeah. Whenever we do get the chance, though, it just means that we have to learn pretty quickly. That's all it means. We have to play the cards that we've been dealt with.
KG, the bowling has changed a lot over the last couple of years, with you and Anas being mainly the mainstays, basically with Marco now as well. How have you guys managed to maintain the standards without making that a disruption for you guys?
It's really tough. Cricket doesn't seem to get any easier. But it's just that desire, wanting to do it, wanting to do well, training, coming back, all the cliche stuff really. the passion. I'm going to sound like a motivational coach, but that's what it is.
KG, you mentioned, that there's a lot of potential actually in this group as well, and they just need to play a lot more cricket. And on that note, how did you experience having a new member of your attack in Gerald? You guys had a bit of a moment, it's actually on a photo, where you sort of like have a big brother routine with him, after he takes a wicket. Just how did you enjoy his debut, and what have your thoughts been of him, even during the SA20?
Yeah, he's got massive ticker. And you saw in the SA20, he wants it. He's extremely competitive. And I think that aids the gift that he's been blessed with, and that's pace. And to top that off, he's got the mentality and the drive. And he's a guy that you'll take to war with you. So he's shown that as well. And yeah, the world is his oyster. I mean, he keeps on showing it. His performances talk for themselves. So you can see it.
Pedro, what did you make of Temba's first test as captain, and how did the bowlers experience the way that he used you guys?
I think the fact that Temba has been captain in the limited overs format, I think there is a familiarity. And the guys are used to his captaincy style. I think he knows what he's doing, and he's got the experience under his belt. And yeah, the guys are familiar with his tactics. And so it didn't feel surreal. It didn't feel that much different with him becoming captain. At the same time, you've got guys like Dean, guys like myself, and then the bowlers, they also think for themselves, and it's a collaborative effort. But at the end of the day, he has the last say, and he has a good feel for the game, and he adds massive input. And there are no disputes or disagreements with his tactics. He's willing to be open-minded and hear from the bowlers what they would like. And obviously with Dean having been captain before, he still plays a pivotal role within the side when it comes to leadership. He is our most experienced player. However, I think the main point of Temba is that guys are familiar with him being captain and his captaincy style.
KG, congratulations. Just take us through this experience in the winning feeling in the test match. I mean, the last time the test side for the test match was against England in Worlds, and things slightly went south. I mean, there's been 2 coaching changes since.
Yeah, it's been a weird period actually. I thought we've had a great season thus far. With the ups and downs, we've had really high highs and low lows, and in between we've put in some solid performances. There's nothing better than a test win. It feels great to have won, when your bodies are knackered and you've put your body on the line. But again, it goes back to how much test cricket we are actually playing. How much can we learn as a test unit, especially the guys who are inexperienced. I mean, that's a major question mark. We definitely would like to be playing more and measure ourselves so that we can know, what to look forward to and what goals to set. And that picture can be a lot clearer. At the moment, what's gone is gone, and we need to look at how we want to play moving forward.
Cool. We're going to take last 2 questions. Time for then we're going to wrap this to
Temba was saying the other day that West Indies was the team that he and his family supported growing up, and I just want, and of course there were important cricketing and historical and political reasons for South Africans to do that. Did you feel the same way? I mean, there's a rich history of fast bowling, which I would imagine you admired. But how did you feel about West Indies as a kid?
I have huge admiration for the West Indies cricket culture. I mean, just myself as a bowler, how can you ignore, you know, that famous bowling attack, and the likes of Viv Richards and the likes of Brian Lara, Gordon Greenwich, you know, the list goes on and on and on and on. I mean, they dominated world cricket at a stage, and the whole world knows about West Indies cricket. And, you know, they've also won, was it 3 T20 competitions, or 3 T20 World Cups. So they're a phenomenal side and phenomenal cricketing culture. Yeah, I'm friends with many of them. And yeah, definitely I admired the players that have come before, and the current players too. I definitely admire, and I have a relationship with them. Yeah, definitely they would have played a role in my cricketing upbringing.
KAGISO, both Temba and Shipri spoke a lot about a positive, more attacking brand that they want to play. How much of that do you think your side, you know, displayed here? What were the areas where they were had short?
That was going to sound like a debrief. I don't know how to answer that one. That's a tricky question. Look, I think the way that if I had to make an example, the way that Aiden played, you know, he was extremely positive. He had extremely good body positions, and just it paid off for him. I mean, he is in form, but he's always looking to be positive. That's the way that he plays. But also, positive doesn't mean, you know, striking at 80 or 100 strike rate. Positive means going out there and having a solid game plan, and for it to be as effective as possible. And each and every individual is different. You can't have every individual playing the same way. But if I look at Aiden and the way that he played, he was true to himself, and it paid off. And so that's just the encouragement. The word positive is an encouragement to be yourself and to get the best out of yourself. Because at the end of the day, cricket is an individual sport, and the players have come this far playing the way that they play. And so you can't expect Keegan to start playing like Aiden, but you can expect him to be positive and trust his game plan for it to be, you know, as effective as possible.